Hey guys, I'm Boot. We're in New Jersey. Let's love and hate stuff today. You like this song? Notorious. Yeah. Or this one? Well, the problem with that is that Puff Daddy is on those songs. P. Diddy, if you will. And, P. Diddy has been in some really, really big trouble lately. A lot of controversy going on. Especially a new one where there was a lawsuit where it was a $666,000 lawsuit that was filed by a member of the cartel because their brothel that they were running, he had hired this guy to procure children so that they could do unspeakable things with them. When the cartel member said, no, that's an unreasonable request, they said, well, we're going to make your business pay for this. And so at that point, they took it to court, to which the judge kind of dismissed the whole thing because, why is he going to stand up because the cartel lost business on a brothel or on their prostitution ring? Because they didn't have little kids to have sex with by Puff Daddy's guys? I don't know how that all went down, but it's pretty disgusting. Here's the thing. Over the years, I've seen some horrible stuff happen. R. Kelly, Chris Brown. Do we then take away the part of who the person is from the person's music? Can those two things be separated because they are one and the same of the same person? And that really saddens me because yesterday in the car, I was listening to some Biggie and I heard some Puffy and I was like, oh, change the song, do I want to be seen listening to Puff Daddy in public at this point after what he's been accused of? I mean, and with so many things coming to light, it's like, where do you draw the line between what an accusation is and what is the truth when there's so much evidence to say that this hearsay conjecture stuff could possibly be absolutely true? It really makes you question that, and it's hard to break that apart for me because I like Biggie's music. I really do, and I want to hear it, and I don't want to feel bad for listening to it because Puff Daddy's on it. And I've seen them do some, AI 50 Cent in Puff Daddy's place, but, it's not the same. It's just not the same. It changes the song. I don't know how to feel about that. While we're talking about, terrible things in the world and the world having notice, lately, there is a group of hackers known as Anonymous. And Anonymous is now going after Jimmy, otherwise known as Mr. Beast. And it's posted by an account called Sadie Cats. Now, I do know that there is a proclivity for cats on the internet, and it's a possibility that this could be related to Anonymous, but the video itself was so incredibly vague, as you can see here from the thumbnail. It just said R.I.P. Mr. Beast, and it could be part of one of Anonymous's videos where they weren't speaking and they took the music from it and they put it in there and then just put that caption in there. So I don't know if this is actually real, because I do follow Anonymous from time to time. They have some really, really great insight into what's going on in the world. Somebody who's seen in the spotlight that much doesn't want to be, cast in a bad light. And when you see all these things they talk about on the news, and, even these crazy people who come out of the woodwork and say the craziest things, it's not really that far-fetched, but at the same time, it's like, where do we draw the line? Where does it come into play that, things mellow out enough to actually know what the truth is? Because right now we're just being fed spoonfuls of BS and then the truth. And trying to decipher where that truth lies and where the BS lies is the hardest part. So fake media is something we have to be careful of, but at the end of the day, you have to question, are these things true? Did Mr. Beast know? Did, these things happen? The victims, are they being looked after? Are they being protected? We would like to know that these things are being done in the name of protecting, people who have been put in these positions without, their understanding or knowledge of what the implications are. And so there's always going to be, crazy stuff that happens in the world, but like stuff like this that's targeted towards children is absolutely unacceptable. As well, it's thundering outside. And we're going to move on to the next bit of news. Of course, everybody knows I love tech, right? Are we being gatekept by our government in some way? Well, that question really comes down to, is technology being hidden from us? For whether it's good reason or not. Is technology being hidden from us? And of course, we've heard of the crazy conspiracies about lasers on the South Pole and all this other stuff, and we don't really know if any of that's true. But at the same time, we do have a lot of technology in our arsenal. And one of those things that I learned about that would be considered hacking technology would be the Raspberry Pi. And the way that works is, the way I used it was to connect a set of lights to the Raspberry Pi control module through a relay, and then I wired my Raspberry Pi to my network, and from my computer I was creating, before Cortana came out, I was creating an artificial voice assistant named Helper. But I wanted to create something, a little bit different, but at the same time something that could connect to the internet, and through the internet send a signal to my Raspberry Pi to turn on lights or turn on and off certain things in my bedroom. And so that was like a really cool little project I did for me, just learning and having fun programming. Then as I was still working on it, Cortana came out, and then, of course Siri was always a thing. And so I was like, well, at this point, there's really no point in continuing to build this thing. It was just so saturated at that point, I felt there was no point to continue. But at the same time, this was a tool I learned to use, and I learned how to code with it, and I learned a little bit about internet exchange through Wi-Fi and the signals and boosting certain channels of the signal to get the best transfer rates and things like that. And I learned so much. I learned so much from having just a Raspberry Pi, and that could be considered a hacking tool. So with that said, even Linus Tech Tips did a video talking about how, it is way too easy to accidentally do illegal stuff with devices that are made for, scanning RF signals that are in the air, radio waves, and decoding them, learning how to decode those things. So these are things we've had the technology, but now they're becoming illegal because people are using it for nefarious purposes. You can learn how to do hacking and stuff as long as you keep it within your own systems, and then you can apply for bounties to hunt down vulnerabilities in other systems. That is the way to do it legally and for profit, you know what I mean? As well as for, making the world a better place, making the internet a better place for other people. I don't think that we should be gatekept by our government, by our country's government, by our country's idea of what technology should and should not be in our hands. Whether it's used for nefarious purposes or not, it does not matter. We should have the right to own those things. And that's what it comes down to. So anyway, there's a lot we talked about today. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Anyways, that's about it for today. So thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.